Earth is mobilizing to occupy Mars. Can you own a piece of the red planet?
Lawyer Flash.
Welcome to Lawyer Flash. I'm your host, Jon Deer, and I explain the law. Now that humanity has made a firm commitment to reaching the red planet, private companies like SpaceX and private organizations like Mars One are scrambling to be the first to establish a permanent settlement on Mars. They each hope to take advantage of the resources and opportunities a new planet can provide. But can a private citizen or a private company actually own property on Mars? Today, we look out a few decades and imagine what it must be like to be a real estate agent on Mars. This is the planet Mars. It's called the red planet, but when you get here, you realize it's really a burnt orange. That's because of iron oxide in the soil. Real estate is still cheap, largely because of disputes about who owns it and who has a right to sell it. It's only us humans that lay claim. We haven't found any other intelligent life. Humans have laws, and those laws control who can own real estate on Mars. The first law is the Outer Space Treaty. It was ratified in 1969, and it has Russia, China, the United States, and 160 other countries as signatories. That's just about everybody. The treaty says, among other things, that no country can own any territory on another planet. We did a whole episode on that treaty here. The problem with the Outer Space Treaty is that it left one giant loophole. While it prevents countries from owning any territory in outer space, it doesn't address private ownership. In other words, companies like SpaceX, nonprofits like Mars One, or you and I. The treaty doesn't address whether we can own property and what the rules are for that ownership. In 1979, when it looked like the United States or some other country might actually put a settlement on the moon, the United Nations tried to plug that loophole with the so-called Moon Treaty. That's really a misnomer because the Moon Treaty attempted to cover all planets. What the Moon Treaty proposed was to treat the ocean and other planets the way we treat the ocean seabed. It belongs to all mankind, and it's administered by an international organization. So the UN circulated the Moon Treaty. That was in 1979. Today, 35 years later, that's still where the treaty remains, in circulation. Only 16 countries have signed off, and not one of them is a country that actually puts anyone into outer space. In other words, it's a failed treaty. As of today, there is no international law governing how property is owned on planets, including Mars. Into that void have stepped dozens of companies eager to sell you property on Mars, the Moon, or any other planet you can imagine. The only problem is they don't have any right to sell you property either. At most, you're getting a nice certificate and a statement that you would like to own property on those planets. We wish SpaceX and Mars One and everyone else clamoring to get to Mars good luck. And to each of you we say, welcome to Mars. That's our episode, and it came out just the way we planned it. You can find us here each week at lawyerflash.net or youtube.com/lawyerflash. Also be sure to like and share our Facebook page, and mostly subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jon Deer. We'll see you next week right here on Lawyer Flash. Be sure and check out these other exciting Lawyer Flash episodes.